Hey guys, so recently I interviewed a band at Milkboy in Philadelphia.
I fell in love with the nighttime. She took me by surprise. She had to turn the lights off.
So yeah, this band's called Money. They're from Manchester, and I got to talk to Jamie and Scott from the band, who claim to be Shakespeare and the real-life Batman. So here it is.
New York is winking at me.
Please introduce yourself to all the readers, listeners, whatever.
Okay, I'm William Shakespeare from Oxfordshire, and this is
Batman. Real life Batman.
In the early morning rain.
it's like we've already been here before because we played all the GTA games, and so we knew what to expect. It's just like GTA.
Yeah. Exactly.
We already played 2 shows, but yeah, there are less people.
I mean, I feel like UK has just I don't know, crazier fans. I feel like Europe.
Not for us. No, it depends on the gig, and I think that unfortunately when you're touring you can't really control your environment that much. But if you're at home in your hometown, then you can put on a show which you can kind of trick people into thinking that you're better than you are, and then they go crazier. It's not in a church. No, pop music is descended from hymn music, and the melody is used so you can remember the sentiment of what's being sung about. And I've always liked the catchiness of songs, the melody of songs. If there's an inflection or a character that a characteristic, new characteristics of the melody, I like hymns. Found them moving and rousing, and you sing them in groups, and I find them moving.
What was the question? Okay, so when we play music together, it's normally in just a small room with the 4 of us. We just... Okay, so I kind of think it's important to be not too self-aware when you play music. I think you just have to be... I try not to analyse it too much.
It's a bit less romantic than that. You like certain types of music. You want to emulate certain characteristics that you like, and that's about it. And you can't do basically. And so we play 2 chord songs because we don't know any other chords, and that's it.
Singing for the dreamer. Sleepless with their dreams.
I think we have different tastes in everything, really, don't we? But that's kind of cool. We've got 4 personalities in the band, and that's what I think makes it good. I think the worst thing that a band can be is if you've got 4 guys who just all want to be the Pixies. That's a bad idea for a band, isn't it? A good idea for a band is to get 4 disparate personalities and try and find a middle ground. That's an interesting idea for a band.
Well, the other stuff like oh god, it's everyone gives the same answer to this question. It's like the Beatles, yeah, and then just I don't know. I like songwriters. I like song craftsmen. I like lyric writers. But that's because I'm the lead singer, I suppose. And Scott likes ambient, multi-bass and organ music. Multi-bass.
I'm actually, but my taste is regressing a little bit at the moment. Actually, like I'm kind of getting really into almost like early Beatles, say for example, picking up on the Beatles, like really like the most innocent, like 2-minute pop song. I kind of think I'm kind of regressing and enjoying that at the moment.
No, totally not intended.
Sorry, nice idea, but yeah, maybe we should do a track listing, which maybe could be read as a sentence, but that probably wouldn't. Yeah, no, that was completely by accident. Thanks for picking up on that, though. Well, the shadow of I don't like you say, don't take yourself too take yourself too seriously, but the idea was that we live in the shadow of the ideal that we want that we can't have. You know, we want to have certain things. We want to live forever, or we want to, be satisfied. We don't want to be alone, and we'll never be able to reach the kind of the zenith, the ideal of these things. So we're living in the shadow of what we want to be, really, and that is painful at times. Painful. I sound like such a. No,
you're doing well.
No.
I think the best my favourite type of music has to hit you on an instant level, like straight away. You hear it and you have an immediate reaction to it. But then the best music is then when you look into it and you sit with that music for longer. There's a depth to it, and then there's something to read into there. And I think if you can strike a balance between those two things, you're onto something good, I think. But for pop music, but it should be both. Like there's nothing. It's a really strange balance to be able to have something that seems fun and catchy and all those things that pop music can be, but also tackle interesting subjects, interesting topics, which is what Jamie does very well.
Occasionally. I wish
when he gets it right.
Yeah, when I get
good.
it right. Yeah. Just wish I could sing like fucking Tina Turner.
I think it's like we're trying to find that place, like between and have.
Yeah, I suppose. But the fun thing, I don't know.
Music should be fun, like shouldn't. Shouldn't just be like, there's nothing worse than people trying to give you a lecture. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this, the very fact that we're having this conversation, is too much like thinking maybe into it, and to try and explain it away, like we're never going to do a very good job at that, and yeah. So I think it's better, maybe for this, just to be completely less transparent maybe.
No?
Never heard of it. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. We are. Yeah.
You make music. Musicians. It's not really. Well, no one has a release or anything like that.
Yeah.
No.
I can't imagine any. It's like a writer being happy with writing one or a couple of books, or not growing or changing over time. You're never going to be satisfied with one object that you possess. So you go on to do other things to satisfy those other curiosities and wants.
You make music, but you do other things. But I really just enjoy being the fucking bass player in a band, in hopefully a good one. Like, I just think, apart from maybe being heavyweight champion of the world, I think that's maybe like the fucking coolest thing you can do in life.
That's doable for you. He did a really good job, and I think, we all were, self-taught is the wrong word, because we didn't really do a very good job at teaching ourselves. But yeah, he hasn't been through, he has taught himself, and he's continuing to learn, and as we all are. So
Multi-talented utility man.
yeah, he's also a very good skier and polo player. Yeah. We want to write new songs because it should be better. But actually, some old ones have come back, and ones that we kind of forgot a little bit or didn't really know how to do on the first one. But yeah, it's like that. The thing is, all bands give you the same answers. Do you like The Fall? He treats his interviews like anyways, this kind of strange guy from Prestwich, which is this little, you call it a neighbourhood outside of Manchester, and. He does stuff to interviews like he like brings a knife and they'll be having the conversation. He'll hold the knife so maybe we shouldn't be so serious about everything. I haven't got a knife though. I've got a pen. So Kraken was just a way to put out songs, and basically it was a way to get Will to listen to them and decide whether they were good enough for money, and apparently, according to him, none of them were good enough. So I just would sing it like an a cappella thing at the beginning of shows, and yeah. I got a letter in the post from him saying that he wanted to meet me, and we went and met and we had a conversation. We went out and got drunk and behaved quite badly, and we decided that we were going to do something, and and so he made it. It was I'm happy with the video.
What's he like? Cause I've only seen him in like Inception and like those crazy movies.
He's exactly like he is in Inception. Exactly.
Like a dapper.
And also he's exactly like he is in Batman as well. Yeah, he's crazy.
Is that like a common thing that happens?
I post pieces of writing up and Something that happens. What, do we do that a lot? Every now and then, yes, every now and then.
Or discuss talking to your friends about getting herpes.
What's wrong with that? You think this is funny? This is
I thought that was funny.
The art is not funny. Art hurts.
Yeah.
We spent ages writing it. Will almost broke up the band I almost broke up the band. That's, if he was here telling the story, he would tell it the other way around, but because it's me, I'll say Will almost broke up the band because we were just not getting it right, and after a long time we found something that ended up working, but it almost split us up because we were at a period where we were really hating each other. Well, it's because you don't, when you're walking down the street and someone asks you how you are, you don't say, even if you might feel like, oh, I'm suicidal, you say, oh, I'm great, yeah. And so what's sad is what's private and personal, and that works well with artists, because if you display something that's not talked about, it can have a therapeutic effect for other people and for the person that makes it. And I think that's one of the pleasures of appreciating art, I suppose, is that someone does something or says something that you wouldn't be willing to say in conversation. It's pretty hard to be avoided, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine though. Like, I think there is a tendency to either go one way or the other. Like, some people completely embrace it and try to emulate it, and then other people despise it and are like, oh no, I don't want anything to do with that.
I don't like that Stone Roses.
Yeah, you get that like anti like Manchester attitude within Manchester as well, but fuck it, there's good bands like it's cool.
It's a very surreal, strange place, and well, I've spent so much time there, and it does have an effect on you. I think because people there are doing strange things. They feel like people think they can do and say anything, and that can be quite helpful for people that are trying to make music. Or
it's made up of quite a strange population, Manchester. Like it's a traditional like working class northern England town, but there's also a huge student population, so there's an academic element to it as well. So I think like those cultures combined is what creates such a... It's
basically all the rich kids come to the poor town and drink in all the pubs for a little while and fuddle their brains up to the point where they were able to become have that direct way of speaking.
Yeah, you just get a fucking... Yeah. Well, so say for... Okay. We shouldn't probably really get too much into talking about...
It's fine.
But say, for example, Joy Division. Okay, let's talk about that. Right. So yeah. But okay. So the point I was trying to make is that on one hand you have this like, say for example, Joy Division, and if it's quite bookish in some elements, it has references to his, whatever, World War I, whatever. But at the same time, it's this primal, industrial, violent sound on the other hand, and I think that's kind of an embodiment of this. Yeah.
Is it kind of the boisterous working class intellect, which is the way that people converse, talk, communicate in pubs, which is almost a quite testing thing. They sit down next to you and you're not quite sure whether they like you or not, and they work out who you are very, very quickly, and they talk. They haven't got time to be not that polite. They have their own kind of courtesy, but it's a direct way of talking. They tell you what they think of you, and I think that that is one of the aspects. But I mean, there's something celebratory about that place, and it must preclude all those bands. There must be something about it which is melancholy, but at the same time it's a kind of maybe a choice, a sense of humour about the lacking of having what you want, that gives it that duality, which is like, life is shit, but we're gonna get pissed and we're gonna celebrate and we're gonna make a joke out of it, which gives it depth and grace and beauty, maybe even.
It has a strange balance as well between it's an intelligible place and yet it's very passionate. People are very passionate there about everything, all the elements of life, really. And I think you can tell that not from every element of the culture that the city exports. The football clubs being a prime example,
It really does seem like a completely separate country almost, because its values are very, very, very different. We've been banging on about Manchester so much.
It's a fucking beautiful place, basically.
City or United?
Neither.
It's a city, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea to go on record and talk about football, to be honest.
I think Joy Division gave a lot of bands with a kind of outsider talent, which is like can't really play, can't really sing, but can write a song. A lot of hope and optimism that gave them that optimism, like we can do this too. And that's the same thing with punk music or conversational writing. It makes you feel like you can do it, and I think that's a really great attitude to have. People can create art and can gain satisfaction from that, and sometimes that is the most interesting work that's made, because by not being able to be conservative and and they make something original.
So like that kind, I guess that kind of goes along with how you were saying that people in Manchester, they like to work hard to till their life gets better and all that. Kind of like
Better for them. That's the point. They know, but then they choose to celebrate the fact that it's not going to get not the fact it's going to get better, but they choose to celebrate at the same time knowing that it's not going to get better. And I think that's the choice is where you get the beauty from it.
Okay.
Very brave. Well, a lot of our friends are in bands that we love, but there's Cult Country, who's actually the lead singer, is on our record cover. You should listen. I think the album's going to come out soon, actually. Very good. Yeah, we're gonna get in our shorts and show our white pasty legs and scare everyone.
Yeah, thanks for your time, and let's have fun.
Let's have fun. And we'll help you kick the E's. Yeah.
Any last words you would like to say?
Wine bong.
Wine bong, yeah.